And we are going to jump right on in. I had a couple of notable efforts that I wanted to outline for Q1. One big initiative that we've been working really hard on, and I know everyone in the marketing department at least knows, is that we've been really creating a lot of material to sell MEDIT scanners at the satellite labs. I don't know if anyone on this call is aware of it, but selling MEDIT scanners is actually a part of the business plan. So it is all the efforts behind making this content is very much appreciated. In Q1, we were able to sell 4 scanners through RDC, 2 through LVDDS. We had 3 scanners in New West, 2 for Digitech, and 4 for Smith Sterling. So really great. Again, thanks everyone for helping to create all of these materials. We are going to keep the ball rolling to continue to grow the digital business for these labs. Another notable effort in Q1 would be for Crown World. Crown World has officially begun integration with QRC optimization. Our new best practice is we are going to be having QR codes on all of the materials for Crown World, specifically for print, having landing pages. Another big thing for Crown World is working on segmentation. If there's anything that goes out for Crown World that we cannot get complete segmentation, we're going to be showcasing the products at price, which for Crown World, for Bruxer, they have $89 for both formulations. But again, going forward, this is going to be something that is in their entire strategy for the entire year. A second notable effort in Q1 is the Smith Sterling Pacific Edge acquisition. As of the 31st, Pacific Edge is no longer with us. May they rest in peace. They served us for a time. And we have converted customers from Pacific Edge to Smith Sterling. Again, I want to thank everyone who was involved in this initiative to help support. This was an idea that I had last year, and the fact that we were able to actually, get it approved and do it in such a timely manner. And we've had a lot of success from the feedback from Smith Sterling. So everyone involved, thank you so much. They're very appreciative for the business funneling over out there to Costa Rica. So for the acquisition, we've had 240 accounts created from Pacific Edge. And just so that you guys are aware, we did take anyone, not just actives, anyone that used Pacific Edge throughout 2022. So that was about 500. So we were able to create 240 accounts from that list. And I feel this is fairly successful because the average active accounts for Pacific Edge in Q1 was 264. So the fact that we were able to get 240 of the 264, that was the active monthly, I would find pretty successful on that end. Again, this is what I said. There was 655 total year to date in 2022 with actives from Smith Sterling. What the marketing team was able to do is we were able to send out a letter. We also sent out an email, which I have a screenshot right here. It went out on the 7th and the 14th. I actually was able to get feedback from Jolene. The days that we sent these emails out, it was very effective. They were able to get a lot of calls, and it also really helped have them convert the customers, because customer service was doing outbound calls, but people were reading our letters and emails. I know sometimes we send them off into the big space of the internet, but it's great to know that people are receptive to what we're creating. We also had a special stuffer, which is right here. This was our introductory offer for new customers. So anyone that was a Pacific Edge customer that was going to be a Smith Sterling customer, they, in their letter and email, told them they were going to get $20 off their first 20 Bruxer crowns. Currently, with coupons and our current restrictions and how manual everything is, if we had one stuffer that said, hey, this is for 20 Bruxer crowns, it would be a really manual process on the shipping and receivings end to count. So in each kit that had the letter, we did 20 of these individual stuffers. So again, these stuffers went to 650 doctors, and from this alone, we got 20 new accounts. The list that we had when we first pulled the Pacific Edge, as you know, historically, Pacific Edge has been around since, I believe, the early 2000s. So there were a couple people that, had a Smith Sterling account that was not active users. So we were able to get 10 restarts just from the stuffer alone and 7 new to product. And the reason why I think those numbers are such a big deal is obviously if someone's not using Business with the Lab, it gives them another chance to be reintroduced to the lab, to have a new experience, to become, a repeat customer. And then also getting them to be new to product, especially for Bruxer. If they were something like a night guard or a denture doctor, we all know once we convert customers to Crown and Bridge, that's when the money really starts coming in. So I would say it was really successful. Again, thank you all so much for the support. And lastly, to report on this initiative, the new doctor count in March 2023 was 64. I know that's kind of confusing because up here I said 240 accounts were created from Pacific Edge, but in our systems, it's not considered new until they actually send us business. So in 2022, the average new doctor count for Smith Sterling was 7. So my estimation is that we were able to get 57 doctors from Pacific Edge sending us business already. So they were signed up, an account was created with a specific 60- number, but we were just shy of 60 doctors already sending us business within the month of this transition. So I do also expect my new doctor count for April to be very high. Will be kept posted, but again, very successful. Thank you all so much for the support. And again, the Smith Sterling team is very happy. So can't argue with that. Great news. And lastly, a notable effort in Q1. If you've been working on New West and you've heard me talk about this, you know that we had our webinar series this quarter. Last year, we laid down the foundation for education at New West, launching our blog, really diving deep into, sleep education with our first KOL last year, Dr. Collins. We created a lot of videos, content for the blog. So we decided to take it a step further with a webinar series. So this year we were able to acquire a new KOL, Dr. Diana Batoon. She is a guiding leader, and we were able to use her expertise in the sleep field to really build on that content. So this is a 4-part webinar series. We were able to do 2. One landed technically on the last day of Q1, but we also have data from the most recent one that was last week. So I just wanted to tell you how this ended up happening. The first webinar was Introduction to Sleep and Sleep-Related Breathing Disorders on the 31st. We were able to get 206 registrants, and out of those registrants, 122 people attended. The second webinar we had last Friday was Screening and Diagnosing Sleep-Related Breathing Disorders. So we were able to receive 169 registrants, and just to put in perspective, the registrants are directly from the marketing, so that's why I reported it here. And then out of the 69 registrants, we were able to get 86 attendees. Education is great. I think it's such a great way to add value to the brand. We do have efforts in place to convert these attendees to customers with specific discount RXs, but I just wanted to, give a high-level summary on what we were able to do, channeling registrants and attendees to the event. And then here are just some screenshots of what we've done with the marketing itself. So we've had stuffers go out for the events for the internal customers. We've had social media. We've done an ad with AZDA, which is Arizona Dental Association, which has an affiliation with Dr. Diana Batoon. Internal emails, third-party emails, and the third-party email was the most successful, driving in most of our attendees. So in the future, if we are going to continue webinars, I would suggest budgeting the third party because it definitely increased the attendee count, I would say 4 or 5-fold. So great news on that front. And now we have the fun stuff, which is the data. So this is a screenshot of all of the data. I think this is a little bit overwhelming to do, so I'm going to skip this slide. I'm just going to give a high-level summary of the activity by lab. And if you know me, I talk really fast. So if anyone needs me to slow down, I'll try to look out for hands. But again, I'm just going to keep on talking because that's just what I've done every single time. If you can't understand me, please raise your hand or shout it out. Crown World. So what we've been able to do for Crown World for Q1, again, primarily utilizing the use of QRC codes, is that we were able to have postcards go out for Crown World. We were able to have product-specific postcards, and then also what we were able to start in Q1 across all labs, but also as Crown World, is postcards that were using customers that were lost to enterprise to start with Crown World. Key marketing efforts that we were able to use for their active customers was RX books. We were able to launch stuffers. Stuffers for Crown World in Q1 were primarily focused on My Account and the Meta initiative. There were 4 emails that went out for Crown World, again, primarily for My Account and Medit. We had flyers go out for Crown World, which was Medit, and then 12 social media posts that were Crown World branding, Bruxer Bytesprints, so product-based. As far as new customer acquisition, besides the postcards, there has not necessarily been RX books going out to acquire new customers for Crown World. I know they've been trying to rely more primarily on their account managers. So as far as the new and the data for Crown World, it's not necessarily showing a lot of redemption, but again, we have been putting a lot behind My Account and Medit, and unfortunately, buying a Medit scanner does not reflect on the new doctor accounts because that's purchased through GlideWheel Direct, so it's a 70 So just to give a little bit of context for that. Next up would be RDC. So RDC has gotten consistent with the Prospecting RX books, Bruxer Bytesprints. They also have a prospecting special postcard that they're getting lost to enterprise customers. Their actives were able to get variable RX books. We have stuffers that were promoting Bruxer and Medit. All of the satellite labs, non-Crown World, also received discount RXs that the customer service team and the general managers were using for retention or decreased activity. They also had Medit flyers and then social media. So Riverside was able to acquire due to marketing that we can track, because also there could be new customers that we're not tracking through certain coupon codes. 16 new, 11 restart, 3 cross-sell. As far as people who were, active with our materials, 113 accounts. We had 140 orders and about 18,000 sales from the campaign. And below are some of the screenshots of the materials. Next would be Smith Sterling. Smith Sterling has had 3 RX books that were prospecting featuring Bruxer and Bytesprints. We had a postcard again that was used to engage customers that were lost to enterprise. What we've done necessarily to active customers would be the variable RX books. We've had stuffers showcasing Medit, also kind of talking about the Pacific Edge Smith Sterling acquisition. We've had Medit letters and flyers, social media posts, and then their team also had discount RXs for decreased sales and retention. So Smith Sterling summary of campaigns for Q1, their new is killing it 56, but again, they're having Pacific Edge customers funneled over with, very successful, like we saw the stuffer and other things. So their new account is very, very high right now, with also 63 restarts, which again is another really valuable piece of data that we really want to, because even if there are people that we've converted from Pacific Edge to Smith Sterling, if they were lost, if we can restart them and keep them, that makes them valuable. We had 29 cross-sell. Again, if there are people new to, Crown and Bridge with Smith Sterling, again, hopefully that will lead to greater sales within Q2. 707 active accounts, and then over $176,000 in sales from the campaign. Next, New West. Again, similar story. 3 RX books for prospecting. They had their postcards that were lost to enterprise. We had 1 third-party email that was education-based. It's under prospecting because it was not necessarily internal. And then we've had 7 blog posts. For actives, we've had a lot of stuffers go out, Bruxer, Emacs, webinar Medit, 9 emails, product-based, blog, and also Medit. We've had flyers that have gone out that were webinar, live course, and Medit, social media posts, and the discount RXs that we created for the team for, again, decreased activity and retention. As far as activity, because we are focusing so heavily on education, New West does get primary I don't want to say attention, but they do get the most amount of projects because there is a lot of support material going out for them for education. So that's why they have their numbers are so high. But when we look at the data, again, we have 10 new, 14 restart, 6 cross-sell, and just over $19,000 with sales from the campaign. Then we have our 2 last little guys, which is Digitech and LVDDS. They have very similar summary. So they had their RX books go out every month. They had their postcard go out for people that were lost to enterprise. They had Medit stuffers, emails, flyers go out, and they also had specific discount RXs that were created for the team. They were able to get 3 new doctors, 135 orders, and just over $19,000 sales from the campaign. And here's some screenshots. Then we have LVDDS, again, pretty much the same exact summary of the RX Books postcards and all the Medit collateral. However, they were able to get 7 new, 5 restarts, just over 30 orders, and $3,000 of the sales from the campaign. So thank you for going through that. Summary of key initiatives for Q2. So what's coming up in Q2? New West webinar series is continuing, and this is to position New West as a sleep authority. We want to increase share of wallet with active customers, because again, the goal is to get them into sleep, cross-sell them into Bruxer, and of course, acquire new customers. If we're a sleep authority, hopefully we can get the attention of other sleep doctors with our education material. 2, satellite lab trade show presence. So what are we doing? Why are we doing this? We want to build brand strength among the local market. And then also this is in the business plan. The goal is to sell 2 Medit scanners shown below. So the materials that we created are at the show. There is someone from Rob's team selling. So the goal is to sell 2 Medit scanners a show. 3, the New West Alive course, which again, same strategy, position New West as a sleep authority, increase share of wallet with active customers, acquire new customers. And then 4, NSnore's full launch. This is to bring national awareness to new sleep products, available exclusively at New West to acquire new customers. And then for Crown World has the Medit initiative. We're going to keep pushing with email stuffers and flyers. Crown World monthly sales program with new postcards featuring top products and benefiting of working with Crown World and implementing more of the QR codes. They're also having a trade show presence. They want to, again, build brand strength among the local market. They also are required to be selling 2 Medit scanners a show. And then we are also going to be pushing more of the cross-sell into Comfort 3D and Bruxer Aesthetic. And this is to increase share of wallet among current customers. Crown World's current forecast is to grow 5%. So if we can get them into more product lines, we can help support the 5% growth in the forecast. Here are some awesome screenshots of what we are doing for the live course for New West. Again, really showcasing Dr. Batoon, making sure that people know this is a 2-day live course. They get 13 CEUs. We have a major email going out into Compendium, I believe the first week of, or next week, actually, we just submit. So hopefully, again, third-party emails are really when we're going to be driving the attendees. Here are some more for the live course. And then we also have Crown World here, and this is some of the materials to support the cross-sell into Comfort 3D and Comfort Hard Soft, like I said earlier. And then we have the KPI summary. As far as where satellites are to forecast, satellites are almost practically aligned. We had a very conservative forecast this year, only being down 0.3%. Typically, satellites have been down 10% or more from forecast. So we have been really great in keeping on par with where we want to be for Q1. As far as active accounts, the active accounts are down 5% from last year, but we are doing our best to fix that number. Again, last year we had primarily our RX books, but now going into Q2, we're going to actively be having prospecting postcards go out for lost to enterprise customers. So we're really hoping to turn this number around for Q2. New accounts for satellites, up 13%, which is really great. This is a little bit artificial because of the Smith Sterling Pacific Edge acquisition. So it's great to see a green number. But again, it's not necessarily telling the whole story, but this is the slide that I have. Restarts are down for satellites, 14%. What we are trying to see in the future, again, with those retention RXs and the declining sales of the RXs that we created for the customer service team to call. So we are working on a way to incentivize them and track how many people they're calling and redemption. So we are trying to, get more restarts to the labs in that sense. And then the cross sell is just down 0.9%, so just shy of 1% for cross selling. We're going to be doing our best to get as many cross sell campaigns that we have. There is a, initiative that I'm trying to do this year to revamp the cross-sell letters and make them easier and more accessible for customer service to send out and for the doctor to redeem the RX. So that's something that we're trying to implement later on this year. So hopefully we can negate the decline, but again, only down 0.9%, so not necessarily in a bad place. And that is the end of my presentation.